On the foreign scene, the crisis in the Middle East has taken a new twist, with Israeli forces launching a ground offensive against Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip. The reason for the operation was explained by the Israeli Defense Forces and include a reaction to 10 days of land, air and sea attacks by Hamas. It also says the aim is to destroy militant tunnels that could be used to infiltrate militants into Israel. A 5-hour truce had been observed earlier today, but rocket fire resumed afterwards. So far, much of the casualty figures since the offensives began have been on the side of Palestine, which says up to 230 of its people have been killed. Israel has recorded 1 death.
This morning, the Israeli army released footage it says shows militants' gear and ammunition left near a tunnel from which Gaza gunmen entered Israel. A military source said Israeli forces repelled at least a dozen Hamas gunmen who tunneled in from the Gaza Strip today, adding there were several Palestinian casualties. No Israelis were harmed in the infiltration near a southern Israeli community. The Israeli military also confirmed that about a dozen Palestinian fighters tunneled under the border from Gaza, emerging near an Israeli community. The head of the emergency team at the kibbutz, Hadass Grishbin, said residents were remaining in their homes. Israel and Hamas agreed to cease fighting for 5 hours today for a humanitarian truce requested by the UN, though Israel remained poised to expand its offensive in the Gaza Strip if rocket fire persisted.
295 people have been killed after their plane, a Malaysian airliner, crashed in East Ukraine. Flight MH17 had been due to enter Russian airspace when contact was lost. There are fears that the plane could have been shot down, but investigations are yet to prove so. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko has described the incident as an act of terrorism, believed to have been perpetrated by separatists who had also shot down 2 Ukrainian military planes over the region in recent days. The rebels have denied having a hand in this. There have also been reactions from Russia, which has asked the Ukrainian government for permission to work at the crash site. Malaysia's Prime Minister has expressed his shock and announced launching an immediate inquiry into the crash. US President Barack Obama says the crash is a terrible tragedy and that US officials are trying to establish if there were any Americans aboard the flight. If it is established that the plane was indeed shot down, then it definitely changes the debate surrounding the Ukrainian crisis. This is the second plane crash involving a Malaysian airliner this year after flight MH370 disappeared on its way to Beijing in March. And the main news again. The protests trailing the move to impeach the Nasarawa state governor today turned violent, resulting in the death of 3 people in Lafia, the state capital. Bayelsa state government has said that the state is open for business. At the first day of the state's maiden investment and economic forum, Governor Seriake Dixon emphasized his administration's commitment to positioning Bayelsa beyond oil. 295 people have been killed following the crash of a Malaysian airliner in Ukraine. There are fears the plane may have been shot down. And Israel has begun a ground offensive in Gaza to rein in Hamas militants, deepening the conflict that has already claimed dozens of lives. Well, that's it on the news at 10 tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Bimbo Oloyede. Up next is Focus on Africa.